This episode is sponsored by Low Country Shadows, a weekly Shadowrun podcast set in the Charleston Metroplex, circa 2077. Follow Calix, Daneth, Muldoon, and Fender as they deal with rampant poverty, unchecked racism, violent gangs, corrupt police, the treacherous triads, uncaring Yakuza Oyabuns, and manipulative corporations, everything you expect from a Shadowrun setting actual play. That's Low Country Shadows, the newest Shadowrun actual play out there. And I would like to give my personal seal on this one because, hey, it takes place in South Carolina, the same place that ours does. So again, Low Country Shadows, check it out. You're listening to the Complex Action Actual Play podcast. The sea-bound enemy runner team has been repelled. However, this was the first time the team has felt the sting of a serious and difficult confrontation with battle scars and wounds to show for it. They deal with it the best way that metahumans know how, infighting and finger-pointing. Now, please enjoy episode 33, How Haven't You Been Shot?
Yeah, the next thing Elric's going to be saying to the rigger is, all right, I want you to power up just the engines, make sure the weapons stay powered down, and we're going to go back and recover your friends that are in the water back there, if there are any. Do you have any biomonitor status on any of your allies?
It's looking like they're alive, barely.
All right, well, we want to make sure to keep them that way, okay? So don't pull anything, and I won't have to kill you and your friends.
He nods, and the rigger is, not rigged in, jumped into the boat anymore, and he's inside, still hot metal around him, and he's not able to get out at the moment. But which not that I imagine that you care, but he's he's nodding and whatnot. The spirit has found the big troll, and dropped it on the deck of the fishing boat. He's just putting everybody on the deck of the fishing boat. They're both unconscious, the two people that fell in the water, and they're wet, also unconscious on the fishing boat. Wada, I'm sure, is, with the help of some others, able to get out of the net by now.
Hey, guys, how are things up there? I made a couple friends down here. I kind of jerkily point the wand in the direction of the decker.
Got a bunch of scumbags here that should be dead.
How are we doing?
I could really use a nap. Like, this chest wound really hurts. This knife probably needs to come out.
Okay, Throwback. I didn't hear from Throwback. How's Throwback doing?
He's all right. His comms are off, I think. We're banged up, but we're all right. That was your spirit through Leroy on the deck?
Yeah, I told it to recover anyone who fell in the water. Prioritizing anyone in our group, of course. Did he recover anyone else?
I don't know yet, but I'm not going anywhere near Leroy.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I thank the spirit as it dissipates, having completed its orders.
Yep. He was that his last service?
Yep.
Okay, then yeah, he tells you he's completed his duties and he will excuse himself.
All right. Okay. I say, all right. This is how it's gonna go. I'm saying to the decker in the cocoon. You guys, that was a great try. Really amazing, actually. It was very, very bold, and, no one was killed, no harm, no foul. Everyone had a good time, right? So we're going to drop your friends off on your boat, and I'm going back on my boat, and we're going to go our separate ways, and nobody gets killed. How does that sound?
Are you saying that over the comms, too?
Yes.
Like frag we are.
You hear from the cabin of the fishing boat that you guys are on, all hands brace yourself, as he rams up against the other boat, and then some of the deckhands have run up and kind of like throw some ropes over and attach themselves to the boat.
Hey, careful. Don't crash into this boat. I'm on it, remember?
He says, that's why I said brace yourself.
I kind of float a little bit above and try not to bump my head or anything.
Two of the deckhands run over on the other side and ask you if you're okay, Elric.
Yep. I said, yeah, I'm great. As I'm heading over there, I'm going to check over the lady that was engulfed by my spirit to see if she is alive or in need of any medical attention immediately, or if she's just knocked out.
She is. if you were to sense her or use a med kit or something like that, you'd be able to tell that she's merely unconscious right now.
Okay, I will leave her alone then. And I'm just going to kind of turn back and yell over to where I assume the boat can pick up on sensors like, hey, when she wakes up, tell her I really appreciated that spell I barely kept off of me. It was really good. I was really impressed by it. And I barely managed to survive it. And that feels kind of great since it worked out in my favor. So you guys are all right by me. Just don't mess with these ships again. They're under our protection. And anybody asks you who ended up taking down your ship, it was Stretch and his crew.
Yeah. All right. Captain Calabash comes out on the deck, and he's kind of like...
I'll say over text, hey, do you want me to include any of the rest of you in credit for this?
You know that guy rammed a knife through Wada's chest, right?
We could take care of this.
Is she dead?
That'd be great.
She was talking. Are you okay?
Probably coughing a little bit.
I will just send him like a image of the chest wound that I have, like
There's
an awkward
Holy
selfie.
dreck.
There's a bloody dagger sticking out of her chest.
I'll be right there with my med kit.
Captain Calabash walks out and says, and I thought that the Mana Storm was going to be what gave us trouble. This is, there's never any end to the excitement you find out here on the sea. This fragging troll, he kicks him when he says it, added a couple more bullet holes to the deck of this ship, but it's character.
Yeah, well, I'd just as soon let him off with a warning if you don't mind.
You want my boys to carry him over?
Yeah, back in their own ship if you don't mind. I at least took a little bit of a trophy as I lift up the cyber deck that I recovered.
Ha ha! Yeah, never go away empty-handed.
Hey, Throwback, can you do anything with this?
I think where are you now? Am I near him so that he's actually speaking to me?
Yeah. I imagine, Elric, you went over to the fishing boat again, right?
Yes, and so I sort of hand it to him as I realize I'm getting distracted from the person who has a knife wound in her chest. So I'm going to run over and do what I can.
Thank you.
Like, look at that.
Throwback, you are now in possession, just for your record-keeping purposes, you're now in possession of a Renraku Tsurugi.
I managed to heal up 1 box of damage through first aid, and I'm going to start whipping up an alchemical concoction for some healing magic.
The deckhands are going to be picking up the troll and moving him off to the other side, and giving no shortage of angry, salty sailor talk to those guys.
Payday wanted to kick more of a fuss about them, but he's kind of just operating on a stim pack at this point, so he's going to retire below deck.
Do you have any?
Which is the one that hit me in the chest? Was it the troll?
The troll did not. It was the guy. It was the
knife.
The sword adept guy.
Yeah, it was after you took the knife is when I decided to shoot him with the shotgun.
Still unconscious?
Yes.
I am totally unconscious until somebody wakes me up.
I don't think anyone is going near you other than maybe check life signs, but Eric is going to check you over. Wada, about 6 minutes after I did my first aid test, I give you a healing potion to drink, and I activate it. Do you have any essence loss?
I do, 1 point.
Unfortunately, you only recover 1 box.
If Payday spots Wada beelining for the guy who stabbed her, he's not going to go below deck quite yet and hang out.
Elric will not interfere.
Yeah, Ulrich's all gung-ho to not give him any retribution, but they didn't brick your deck, buddy. They stabbed her, they threw grenades at us. You think they just get to walk away?
If Wada gets a little less damage, she's going to help throw back into his chair.
They also didn't get thrown overboard like some people did.
Just put like an arm under his chest to help kind of lift you up.
Nah, fine. Just hold the chair.
Oh, yeah, that works too. Where is the chair? We'll have the chair.
It's somewhere near the middle of the ship.
Hey, you guys do what you want. I won't stand in your way.
Or with us, apparently.
What's that supposed to mean?
Could have used some help on this side of the fight, is all I'm trying to say.
He was doing his job.
I was helping a lot, I think. I mean, I hit their command center and shut their whole operation down.
Wada almost died. Leroy almost drowned.
What
would it matter if they got away?
I had my spirit knocking grenades off the ship. I mean, how many grenades did my spirit knock off? I mean, I wasn't there to keep track, but I left that behind to take care of things. Right, pulling people out of the water. I think I did my part.
You wouldn't have been in the water if you'd been here, though. At some point, man.
Plus, I got that expensive tech back.
Whoa. Stretch did his part. What are we directing on him for? These are the fraggers that did it. If they hadn't hit our boat in the first goddamn place.
And he decided that they get to walk away.
It's like,
decided
that's what they get paid for. It's like we do. We're probably on their side next time. So I think the other point here is that some people need to learn to be team players, And
it's what Pillar would want me to do. I mean, if you guys want to do it, go ahead. I'm not going to stand in your way. You take whatever retribution or do whatever action you see fit. But I've done what I was going to do.
Don't you want to know why they're here? What they have? What they were coming on board our ship for?
I assume the direct we were carrying.
And you think they've got any maybe on their boat that maybe they don't need anymore?
I don't know. If they had their own stuff, why would they be coming after ours?
Maybe greed? Hey, I don't care. We got this fancy piece of hardware, right? Thorbeck would sort of, nonchalantly wave the deck. And looks a whole lot better than mine does right about now.
Yeah, well, I figured they have to pay with something. And those things are expensive, right? I mean, that's not just a comlink, is it? Please tell me that's not just a comlink.
Thorbeck looks like he wants to yell at you more, but his mouth opens and then just nothing comes out. He just sort of shakes his head in a yes and no direction at the same time. Not now.
It's not just a comlink. You did good.
Oh, man, that was amazing. The way they were swinging on board the boat, dropping grenades around that we had to toss off, flying over the ship, almost getting killed by the magma spell.
It's almost like you're a shadow runner, right?
Well, that was more like some straight up pirate dreck.
What the hell wrong with you, kid?
In my defense, I didn't get knifed. I did try to help your knife wound. I hope it feels a little better. I think I held up 2 boxes completely between the two of them, the first aid and the heal.
I'd say that the knife wound gave you a character, but I think you got enough character already.
Yeah. Got to make sure it at least leaves a scar, right?
I'll have the scar taken care of.
Yeah.
This. Give a hand up and down. And I was like, this is expensive to maintain. I mean, oh my god.
What is
the
expensive?
idea? My appearance. You know how much my hair costs to have biosculpted like this? It doesn't come over this night. It's not. This color of black doesn't exist in nature.
Do you know how much mine costs and Payday sweeps back his greasy, unkept hair? I'm figuring I'm saving money. You should go to my school. I haven't changed this shirt in like 3 days.
Oh my god.
I'm going to have such a headache in about a half an hour. Elric is thinking to himself.
Oh yeah, Elric. I used that stim patch.
Oh, good. If you need it, go for it. I mean, that's fine. I had to use another one of mine myself. Yeah, I've got about a half an hour before I'm going to be no good to anyone.
Yeah, that's about me too. But right now, I feel great.
Well, as you guys are fixing yourselves up and getting going, you're detached yourselves from the other vessel, and it starts to move away a little bit, and the captain starts moving your boat away. And as you guys are getting farther away, but still able to see what's going on the boat, the what you identified as the decker and the rigger who is piloting the boat, as well as 2 of the other. So the female, the mage, she's not there, but the rest of the 4 people are 2 of them, kind of slowly going up to the edge. The troll kind of like getting up to the edge. They kind of walk up to the edge of the boat and look over and kind of give you guys that. Like a very professional kind of look, and the guy who was piloting the boat kind of salutes you guys in kind of a way that's like they're appreciative and very professional, like sort of giving you the gesture of between Shadowrunners. They were obviously a team of people who were trying to do something, and you guys let them go, and they're showing their appreciation publicly.
Payday grumbles.
Why don't we give the adept back his knife?
You can throw it back at him.
Are you going to throw it back at him?
No, I'm just going to give it back to him. Not like while we have them, under guard, but, before they leave.
Okay. You chose to say it now, so I was wondering if this is when you were giving it back.
In what manner are you retrieving their knife?
Yeah. All right. And they head off, and Captain Calabash is starting to he's as you guys are heading back, he's already starting to like work on retelling this tale in the most dramatic of fashion. You can tell that he's going to be he's working on how he's going to be retelling this for years to come.
I tell him to make sure to include a throwback, nailing the dude with the shotgun.
And a whore with wooden teeth. That's your best material.
You got that right. Hey, you guys are a pretty crack team here. You guys, your team here have a name?
Oh no, do we have to have a team name?
You guys just seem to work well so together, and you know, for the story, you know, every team it's far more dramatic. Like,
Booker says we're not supposed to talk about what we do, so it's probably not good that you do a story.
All right, well, I'll change the
names
names to protect the professional criminals. He laughs.
Keep the name Stretch in there.
Keep the name Stretch. You got it, Stretch.
I think it's officially stuck to me. I might as well own it.
It's nice that you finally embraced your name.
It's such a drecky street name. I mean,
Hey, it's a good name, and your sister gave it to you.
You do have a point there. I think she would have been proud, but she's of course in prison, where she's probably having a horrible time.
We've got people looking after her for what it's worth. Remember that. And Captain, this was a hell of a trip. We all got a good payday, and
haven't quite gotten a payday yet.
Yeah, I'm going to be checking over Leroy next to see if he is alive and in need of a medical attention. Well, I know he's alive, but
be careful with him.
Seems to be all right. How's Leroy faring emotionally and psychologically?
How long has it been?
It's been maybe like 30 minutes.
Does he need any immediate medical attention? Does he have any wounds?
So I took like 3 boxes of stun. He is probably just in, oh my god, I almost died unconsciousness right now.
Okay, I'm doing first aid to assist with his stun.
And Eon springs into being. Hector, I'm surprised that you went along with Stretch's plan.
You recovered. Sorry, go ahead.
And Payday just grumbles and now is finally going below deck, anticipating the wearing off of that stim.
And Leroy recovers 2 boxes of stun through my first aid.
So when I wake up, I flail, and if you're within grabbing range, I will totally grab onto your jacket unless you try to
I would be totally taken aback. I mean, I'm probably right there applying smelling salts, trying to raise you to awareness and consciousness.
Yeah. So it'll be that moment where I sit up, realize I'm no longer dying, white knuckles on your jacket, realize it's you, pull you close, and just no more boats.
They work a whole lot better if you stay on them.
No more boats.
Well, you got a few more minutes yet because I think we're not quite to port yet. But just relax and hold on to something. Not me so much. I mean, if the boat rocks, I'm likely to just fall right off the boat without my levitate spell on me. So you might want to grab something a little bit more stable than that. How about this thing here that's sort of poking up here that the ropes are wrapped around? I'm not sure what that's called. There's probably a fancy name for it.
All right, well, the boat makes it back to shore, docks, and Walker meets you all as you connect with the dock, and Captain Calabash is, leading his men to unload some cargo. Walker comes up. My word, you've come back. How was the voyage?
It was highly eventful.
Terrible.
I thought it was great, except for this knife wound from some crazy ad app where you stab your person.
Eon speaks up. The mission was successful.
Excellent. Very excellent. I see the men unloading some cargo here. Did you run into any trouble? He very obviously he's asking the question. He knows the simple answer, but he's because you can tell that from the look on his face as he looks around to the condition of everybody.
Don't get them started, frag face.
I'm sure you'll tell me all about it in time. Well, we're going to load up the cargo into the van and get you on your way as soon as possible. I very much appreciate the additional help that you've given us. In fact, let me go ahead and give you the payment for this part of your agreement now. And he hands you, because this was kind of like a sub run or a side quest, so to speak. So he goes ahead and give you the payment for that, which amounts to 20,000 new yen each. There's 5 of you, right? Yeah, 20,000 new yen each. He said 100,000. You will receive the rest of your payment when you deliver the cargo back to Colombia.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. This is going to help.
Might be nice if we could take a couple of hours before we move out from that.
Well, He looks around again, and particularly looks at Wada and what I imagine is still not so great looking chest wound. I wasn't here for the healing portion of that, but I imagine. Say that again?
Still very wounded. Probably have a seepage.
Yeah.
The mustard yellow suit has a giant brown reddish spot on it.
As my stim patch wears off, I take 7 boxes of stun, putting me up to 8. And considering my low pain tolerance, I am now swooning with a -4 penalty.
He says, given your condition, I suppose that would probably be in all of our best interest and in the best interest of the cargo's safety as well. So why don't we take the evening and you can head out in the morning?
I'm getting drunk.
That would be great.
It's both in and out of character.
Would you like to join me on the deck of my yacht?
No. And you need to leave it edited in like that so that I straight up interrupt him.
Is there a bed there? Because I remember I want to go to bed right now, I think.
Yes, we do have a bunk. I do have a place to rest and put your feet up, so to speak, if you would like, in my cabin. Also, there's plenty of refreshment and food and drink.
Yeah, Elric's stumbling around like someone who's blind drunk.
Yeah, he snaps his fingers and has an assistant come and help anybody who needs any help up onto the boat. And you're served on and waited on, and you guys can get a night's rest before you're aroused in the morning.
Yeah, pretty much Payday is going to follow suit and pretty much go and immediately crash on that boat, because as soon as that stim pack wears off, he is down for the count.
Yeah, you guys can, anybody who has stun damage can go ahead and there's no need to roll for that. You guys will get rid of it. So stun damage will be gone. Make sure everybody refreshes a point of edge for a night's sleep if you spent one. And would doesn't it have to be 24 hours for there to be a
Physical.
I need 24 hours of complete rest.
Yeah, so you're still stuck with that chest wound.
Yeah, I do have a medicine skill.
I mean, it's still, that medicine just adds to that roll. So if I can't make that roll because we don't have 24 hours downtime, it really doesn't help.
It doesn't speed anything up, but, Elric will be willing to help if you need help, other than, you probably better medical care than me with my medicine skill of not that great.
I'm going to drop my heavy gear with the team, so roll with a side armor too. Get an Uber, go to some shitty part of town, get wrecked, and stay in some crappy hotel.
When he drops his gear just randomly off of us to take care of and babysit, Wada's going to seriously consider hawking it.
I mean, that's probably not a great idea, but it's probably also not a great idea for him to go driving around with in an Uber with an assault rifle, an assault-off shotgun, and
Fair enough. You can
I'd
find
probably actually
crappy...
leave it with Payday, because I actually trust Payday rather than the other situations.
Just leave it with Payday's sleeping body.
Despite having this gaping chest wound, Wada would like to just do a bit of shopping for some nice street clothes, so that I'm not wearing a stained yellow suit.
Want to hit up a Walmart and get some arrows?
Yeah, you can. There's some 24-hour stores like that, like a Kong Walmart somewhere around town that you could get to. Yeah.
Yep, white collared shirts in bulk. That sounds like a good idea. I'll take that.
Go for it.
Elric will not awaken until someone actually wakes him up.
I thought he was already awakened, but
Yeah, I imagine the 8 boxes of stun get healed fairly quickly over the night, but considering that much of a drain on him, he's sleeping until someone wakes him up.
All right. That's what you guys are doing. Then the next day comes. No Shadowrun team ambushes you this again. And the sun rises and you're woken up. Anybody who would, nobody woke up early, you are woken up early because, while he was giving you time to rest, it was still something he wanted you to get down there and get back. So, yeah. And I guess, are you guys all on your way?
Yeah.
Elric's kind of act like he's got a bit of a hangover. Not really. There's no real headache or anything, but he's just this sense of being drained. But he's going to go ahead and conjure up a Force 4 Spirit of Fire shortly after he wakes up.
Wada comes back from shopping with a bright pink synth leather leopard print jacket.
Nice. Leroy should give me a body plus willpower roll I want to see if he managed to get any rest and recover any stun after going out and drinking.
I got 5 hits. I hold the shit out of my liquor, all right?
All right, you got it.
I got 4 hits on that spirit.
All right, and what force was it again?
4.
Yeah, you got 4 net hits. That spirit, spirit was in the metaplanes, doing laundry and spirit dishes and was not even paying any attention and was like, "Oh, what?" Sucked into the astral realm.
I ask it kindly to provide astral overwatch on our team and keep me informed of any goings on and threats. But of course, deal with them as you see fit.
Yeah, okay, sure. I was in the. All right, no problem. I will take care of that for you.
Thank you.
Leroy, you do have a pretty bad hangover, though.
And Elric's presence
I almost
is
died, that's fine.
slouchy and mopey.
Throwback also isn't his normal talkative self. He's very distracted and angry, but will be where he needs to be when he's supposed to be there. Which is how? How are we traveling?
By van.
By van, with some crates in the back.
Great.
Now here's the van talk, everyone. There's
boy.
multiple
Here it
ways to
comes.
do this. And most likely, none of them are pretty. This is not an off-road vehicle. It means we have to take roads. We have to go through security checkpoints. If no one has any ability to forge anything good enough that they're not going to be looking in the back of this, well, then it's going to be rough. And this thing isn't rigged. I'm good. I might not be that good to outrun them in a van.
All right. Elric says, well, I got my fake ID right here, and he's holding his wand to use to cast fire spells. He looks over at, wait a minute, puts that in his pocket, takes out his cred stick with Jake Small's fake ID, and right here.
That is not what I'm talking about. Like I said, good, first off. And second, I mean for the cargo, not for you.
So you want to buy a tarp or something?
I'm thinking Throwback or Wada, got any ability to forge documents?
No.
Huh.
I could put a ward up on the van, but that would draw more attention than it would actually provide any real protection.
Right. If I do have to outrun this thing, can you magic some kind of boost onto the van, make us go faster?
Is this just like a bulldog step van's worth of stuff?
Yeah, it's there's enough room for the cargo and for all of you guys, and that's about it.
It would take the assist.
What are we storing the cargo in? Just
they're in crates of various sizes, boxes and crates.
Probably not going to be a very comfy ride for anybody who has to ride back there, I imagine.
It would take the assistance of a very powerful spirit of Earth, something I'd rather not make the attempt in summoning unless it's very necessary.
All right. Other idea. Can you somehow magic the crates so that no one notices them or that they're invisible or vanished?
Sorry, I got nothing besides the ward, which was, again, probably a bad idea.
We just got paid a whole bunch of money. We could just give some of that to the people who might look under the tarp.
is there a scenic route we could take through less patrolled?
I don't know, Bobby. Can I roll my knowledge of my area knowledge, Columbia? Maybe.
Absolutely.
You mind if those of us that have that roll it, or just him?
Everybody, you guys can. You're all driving and talking and working together, so you guys can assist.
I have Columbia area knowledge. Would that be helpful?
Yep, that's what we're looking for.
Oh, wow.
Who's assisting who?
I added the 4 extra dice. I don't have a huge amount of points in it, so I'm probably best to help people.
Yeah, I imagine that Payday is taking point on this, since this is kind of like his part of the whole ordeal. He's probably the one who's the leader on this.
The only one who's smuggled, more than likely.
Yeah, everybody else would be assisting him.
How many ranks do you have?
I have 3 ranks in area knowledge, Columbia.
Okay. I think I heard Elric say that he gave you all 3 of those.
All right.
Who else is assisting? Because you can still increase his limit.
Yeah, I got 2 hits, so I'll increase your limit by 1.
Definitely increase my limit. So thanks to you upstanding gentlemen, that's 7 hits.
Yeah, that and Throwback is mad at Elric right now, so that might explain why he wouldn't contribute if Elric is.
Yeah, so with 7 hits, yeah, you're exactly a place that you could go. Of course, you're going to have to go through the wall, and that's always the challenge, right? Because sometimes it's patrolled, sometimes it's not. It can be really, really hit or miss. So the trick is with smuggling, right? So the trick is to find a place where you either know somebody or you're reducing those odds running into something you can't deal with, right? And you happen to know, don't you have Marauder as a contact?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Right. So you happen to know that there is a route, of course, that goes through the territory of the Diamondback Motorcycle Club. They do they do smuggling. So, and you happen to know somebody.
Well, I'll go ahead and give him a call.
All right. It's early in the morning. What's your loyalty with him?
My loyalty with him is 2.
Okay.
Ditto.
All right. Well, at this time in the morning, it rings a couple times, and he doesn't answer right away, but he calls back pretty quickly.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
And he says, "Hey, payday, right? Payday, yeah. Sorry, I don't have it. I woke up. I was out partying last night. So
I feel like I'm hungover without the benefit of booze.
Oh yeah, rough night, huh?
Yeah, got banged up a bit. I'm coming in with some gear. I need to get past the wall without making much noise, if you get me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we could take the old route, that we used to have you doing back in the day. We still operate that route.
I appreciate it. What kind of cred do you want to see?
We'll say this time of day we don't have a lot going on. We'll say well, let me ask you, how hot is the stuff that you're bringing?
Hot enough. I kind of don't really want them taking too hard of a look through the crates we've got.
I mean, on a scale of pillowcases to organs, where are we?
I'd say probably. Well, I don't know much about this Drek, but I'd say probably about a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Well, we'll call that 500 million.
You got it.
Sure. And you know the place, and you do. You know what he's talking about.
And we're about a few hours away, aren't we, Bobby?
Yeah, it's going to be from where you are. It's going to be about a 2.5 hour drive if you don't try to go too fast, since you're trying to be inconspicuous.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, tell him it'll be about 2.5 hours or so before we're there.
All right. And the route that it's going to take you will take you coming in through the wall on the Casey side of Columbia, coming southeast. It's the southeast side of Columbia through their territory. And yeah. So you guys are driving along down the interstate.
As a note, I actually have a positive quality that'll come in handy a lot here. I have subtle groundcraft, which essentially makes me able to very much blend in with normal traffic and seem
casual.
Very casual.
And I pretty much just did it through the text in chat, but I thought I should mention Elric casts creates an increased reflexes preparation. Makes a pretty potent one, but it also hits him with a lot of drain. So he's going to actually set a timer after Payday says it's going to be 2.5 hours, figures it's okay to take a nap.
Yeah, you got it, man.
He's going to sleep for an hour and he'll recover his stun. I think
right.
I'll leave that for my preparations for now.
Okay, well, yeah, Payday's driving down the interstate. He's in the right lane. He's not in the fast lane. He's taking the normal slow route, and not following too close, not being too slow. Just taking it easy. And the interstate journey all the way up to Columbia is pretty uneventful. And as you guys head up to get close to Columbia, you can see you're getting close, and off in the distance you can see the area through the wall that you're going to be coming through, and you see a big group of people and some cars set up right outside the wall, some motorcycles and a car.
At some point we're on the drive there. Ulrich wanted to kind of go up to Throwback, say, "Hey, how you feeling?"
Throwback's probably got 2 cyberdecks in his lap. They look pretty similar, except one is a bit singed. Some of the panels are like popped out and bent back a bit, and he's like just kind of fumbling around with some of the pieces. He'll stop, take a deep breath, say, "Hey, what?"
Yeah, hey, I guess I'd just come around and say, you seem pretty pissed off at me back there.
Where? What?
After the whole fight on the boats thing and...
No, not you. Sorry, no. this was expensive.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought about it. I did go running off. I mean, I thought it was doing the best thing to help things out, and maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't. But anyway,
I mean, I think you did things that helped, I guess, right? Like I don't know. Things were happening. There was explosions. Wada got stabbed, and it's just that Payday was there, and Leroy was there, and I couldn't see you, so I didn't. It doesn't feel like you're there.
Yeah, well, I know you got my back out there, right? And I don't see you out there normally. I mean, you're hanging out in your wheelchair, but you're really out there, right? Doing your magic. I mean,
when I try, and then I kind of actually flip over the one cyber deck and start to fiddle with it again. You do you. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad, but you do you.
But I mean, you were right there with the shotgun, and everything was going great. And I figured, hey, fly over there, take out their rigger, right? I mean, that's what I was thinking.
I think it was a good idea.
Well, it worked out, which seems to prove the point for this point, but doesn't necessarily mean the same course of action would work out well the next time. So if you've got some sort of serious concern about my course of actions or something you'd rather I do, I'd like to hear it, because, don't get me wrong, I passed all the tests. I've got a super high IQ according to all that dreck, but I know someone who's smarter than me when I see them.
I've seen a lot of things happen, and it's easy to get distracted, and you think you're doing something that's going to be helpful, and you end up getting hurt. What had happened if there was another one of those, big frag off dudes where you went and he clobbered you? We've got each other's backs, but when you're that far away, you might become a liability, and then I am mad at you.
We're all having a tender moment in this van, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Leroy's in the back just kind of cleaning his guns. When you say it's like, this whole thing was a stupid idea, and that's all he's got.
We'll turn, look at Leroy, turn back, and then just focus.
Well, all right, I'll keep that in mind. I am
keep it in mind. I've seen a lot of good people not come back.
To be honest, when I'm out there like that, on the edge, in the middle of it, I mean, I'm fighting, and I'm fighting to survive, but I'm fighting to get things done. I don't even give a second thought to my own safety. Like, that doesn't even enter my own thoughts. I just forget all that and go all in.
I get it, but you're not invincible. You're going to get shot one of these days.
I glance nervously over in Leroy's direction.
Hey, wait, he hasn't been shot yet, has he?
It's that perfect moment when somebody's cleaning the salt water out of a gun, and they just kind of hold up the barrel and blow in it and then go back to scrubbing it.
It's not my fault.
How haven't you been shot?
I don't know. I mean, I try to dodge when people shoot at me, okay? I try not to be where the bullets are. I mean, I try really hard.
Just lucky, Stretch. But he's right. That luck can run out at any point.
And we need to be nearby when it does. That's all I was trying to say. Maybe not as elegantly as I need to, but have you seen this thing? I throw my burnt deck into Elric's lap.
What do you mean, see it?
Whoa.
I can smell that thing.
What happened to it? I mean, it was perfectly good shape when I handed it over to you on the boat earlier.
Oh, no.
What did you do to it? I thought this was going to be worth a lot of money.
Throwback holds up the more pristine one. No, this same model, different condition.
Elric just looks confused.
They're not one of a kind. They make them in a shop. Give it back.
Wait a minute. That one looks really familiar as I point at the deck that Throwback's holding. Never mind.
It's the drugs, Chummer. Drugs do it to you every time.
How's Wada doing on this trip? What's she up to? What's she thinking? What's she doing?
She's probably super muted, but I was curious how long it was going to go before somebody called it out.
Wrong button. Wada's learning to use her comlink so she can communicate with the team. Otherwise, she's still in a lot of pain, but she's got her new high-end con clothing on and whatnot.
Elric's going to help her out by just sort of generally doing occasional medical scans or whatever, and offering her various drugs.
When he comes at me like that, I'm just gonna no. Go. Come on, kid. Come on.
All right,
What?
as you guys...
I mean, if you'd rather use the medkit on yourself, that's fine with me. It's a pretty powerful processor. There's a shrug of my backpack and offer it to you. So if you just do what it says, it should help a lot. I don't mean to be intrusive.
This isn't the first time I've been stabbed. I'll be all right, kid.
Really? How many times have you been stabbed?
Well, like, there was this one time where there was this dual-wielding Narataki who also kept... No, never mind. I'm not to answer that.
What the frag's a Narataki?
Oh, they're like these big, tall things that have multiple arms. I think that's one, right? Or maybe it just was some weirdo with Shiva arms. I can't quite remember now.
Don't we all have multiple arms? Throwback
Yeah,
holds up
no,
both of his arms.
They have, like, multiple pairs, though. Yeah.
So, when do you tell us what happened to Haley, right? You were going to do that, right? We helped out a lot.
I think at the end of this job, I think that was, like, what we agreed to, right? This job's not over. Yeah.
What a fragging professional you are.
Speaking of, it's about this time, I guess you guys are approaching the wall, and there is a group of people set up at the wall at the checkpoint, motorcycles and a big truck, and they slow you down as you come up.
I will slow to a stop. You
recognize the Diamondback Motorcycle Club, and Marauder actually is there himself, and he walks up to the van, and you said you rolled down the window?
Yeah. Wakey.
Hey, payday. Okay, right on time it looks like.
That's what I do.
All right, well, if you've got your new yen, then we're going to let you on through.
The new yen. I'll pass him a cred stick.
Excellent. He takes a look at it, in that way that, he's of course going to check it, but he doesn't want to, check it too hard.
Like he's checking it.
Well, he's not trying to hide that he's checking it. He's just doing it as a glance, real fast. Doesn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, I actually gave him an extra 100.
All right. He looks at it and he says, "Oh, hey, thanks for the tip."
Hey, I appreciate it. And I forgot to tell you anyway, I've got a drone on me as well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. And he looks over and he says, "All right, they're good boys. Let them in." And they move out of the way. And he walks away and waves you on.
Window raises back up, and I drive on through.
Well, you guys are in Columbia, and you're able to make it back to Walker's store with no problem. That's where he wanted you to go. And he had told you to. There's a place he wants you to pull around behind the store. There was a parking lot, a small parking lot out back. It's kind of like a gravelly parking lot for just a couple of cars.
Yeah, he didn't exactly want people to see the stuff going through the front of his store, that's for sure.
Yep. And he walks out and he says, "Excellent. You managed to get into the city with no problems, I assume?"
No one knows a thing.
All right. Well, let's open it up and have a look.
Go nuts.
He opens it up.
Opening things. Elric is going to be astrally perceiving and checking it out himself.
All right. What are you looking for?
I don't know. I just want to observe this and see what it's like. I just want to get a feel for it and notice it and see what it's like. Maybe I can get some sort of idea of what its value is, or just if I see anything like this again, maybe I'll recognize it. Just observe as much of it and learn as much from it as I can.
Sure. You see, it's just a lot of various magical items. You can't discern too much necessarily like physical detail from the astral plane, but they're all varying degrees of power and potency and whatnot, and just all mixed in with very brightly colored and all that kind of stuff. And he's checking through the boxes and opening them up, taking a look and nodding and yes, excellent. All right, well, everything seems to be in order, and I suppose I owe you a payment.
Yes, you do.
And he hands over a cred stick with 40,000. He would give it to Wada, by the way. He hands it to Wada and says, "Here is your agreed upon payment."
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is great. Wada will carefully try to remember to do the math in her head and subtract the amount like she's checking it, but then she goes and subtracts the amount other than what she offered to pay you guys, which I can't remember now what it was.
Fortunately, I noted it down. You offered everybody 7,000 new yen each.
Thank you.
After our amazing negotiations.
It's 25,000 apiece, right?
Altogether, you would have gotten 27,000 new yen. The expenses that you spent were 600. I don't know how you're going to split that up or who's going to take care of that, but that's what you spent to get through the wall.
I'll take any donations, but I'm not actually asking for any.
Sounds like the Johnson for this job should pay that expense, right?
Like, I
think
gotta
it's
buy a new outfit.
But more importantly, I want to know what you know about Haley. I'm just saying that right there in front of Walker and everything.
He seems kind of oblivious. He's just has a couple of people. He has a couple of people helping him unload crates, and he's like, he seems very pleased.
Yeah, that. So like, I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it here, so we might want to walk away from it. Should just kind of sideways look over.
Yeah, there's this
Where are we
pizza place next door, I think, that I wanted to check out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, what are you all wearing, and what kind of condition are you in?
Well, I look worse than when I was there last time.
I
Well,
got
when
my fancy Kong Walmart outfit on. I think I'll just go ahead and like get in the. We still have the van. Was that his van?
That's his van.
We kept that.
Oh.
Your actually, whatever vehicle that you took to, where did you have that? Where did Payday have that? First of all, where did Throwback's van get? Did it stay at the lake?
I think so.
Yeah, it was either at the lake or would have been sent back to like Payday's garage. But no, I think it's still at the lake.
Okay, I know Payday would have sent his
The
vehicle
Phoenix
back.
did go back, yep.
Okay, so you guys are there. You'll have to call a cab or something.
Yeah, so like maybe we should go get a cab, and I'll tell you guys on the way there.
Does a Coco taxi pull up?
So
No, I'm sure you can call a small van that can carry you guys, that kind of cab.
we'll lift it up and go.
Lift it up. I see what you did there.
Lift. It's like an Uber. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like, not very long ago. I guess it just seems like days ago, weeks ago. I don't really remember. But anyway, it was like my first job, like being a Shadowrunner, and that was cool. Well, we were hired to escort like this weird chick with blue hair out of the city, which I've learned from Booker was like your friend Haley or whatever. And so anyway, like we were hired by this guy, like the reindeer, and he didn't really tell us a whole lot of information, but the job was like super easy. And we just like stopped by and got her. She wasn't like bound or anything like that. That's really out of it. Like, I don't know if she does drugs or something. Anyway, so they paid us to go like 50 miles north of the wall. And then we met like another group, I think, of Shadowrunners. I don't know. They were all wearing clothes like you guys wear, like I've been told to get. I don't know. I hear the sleeping tigers are really in fashion right now, at least in Seattle, but I don't know if they are here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I don't really know what they did after that, but we just kind of gave her to that team.
Rudolph. Rudolph's not a
Yeah.
reindeer. He's not
That's
a reindeer. He's a guy.
And she was drugged or something?
Yeah, I think so.
You just
I don't know. Maybe she's sleepy. Oh, so then like there's this whole like other thing. Like we were coming back and we had like one of those dudes on our team, kind of like Throwback, with the weird like iPad-y thingy. Anyway, he said that he recognized the girl. Yeah, he's the one actually who told me that it was Haley and that he'd seen her for a few months before, but he didn't recognize her quite as easily this time. So he did like the like stuff where like they scan your face, and like I don't know, it matches all the little dots and weird patterns to it. I don't know. It was a super cool program. Maybe Eon would know how to work it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He got like a 100% match on some daughter or something for like a dude in like the South Carolina State Legislature or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he was a senator or something. I don't really know.
oh,
He was-
trick.
He was on like that job where like I guess like months prior or something where they had to infiltrate a fancy like rich girl's party or birthday party or something. It was being held at that like senator dude's or whatever's house, and like the birthday girl's name was Haley, and it may have been your blue haired friend. I don't think she had blue hair back then, but whatever.
Which senator dude was it?
I don't know.
Do you have like a file with all this?
Yeah. She just pulls out like the cable to her data check. I mean, I just talked about it, so I assume that my software dictated it. If not, I can tell you again.
Elric takes out his comlink.
And it makes that noise.
I think I'm getting a call.
Yeah, just hit this button here, Elric. You can answer it anytime.
I guess my trodes got disconnected there. It's using audio cues. Sorry about that. I checked to see if I'm getting a call. Probably just discovered it's an alarm that I set that I'd forgotten about.
Oh no, that's how you transfer the data.
Oh, that was the data transfer acknowledgement. I get it. Okay. Neat. You didn't even have to plug the cable in.
Oh.
So, what's the wire for then?
It's to transfer data securely and not over Wi-Fi. Things that might be discussing missing friends, senators' daughters, past shadow runs. That's the kind of stuff you'd want to transfer through a direct connection.
All right. Well, I think there's this plug thingy in my comlink. I'm pretty sure it's for that. So, assuming Wada didn't wirelessly transmit the data, then I'll get the data from her.
I should pull out of the data jack and the side of her head this long, thin, bright pink cable.
Elric seems fascinated by the cable coming out of your head. And not in a disgusted way, just sort of like a, whoa, that's so cool and weird. But he doesn't say anything.
Did you grow up super sheltered? What century are you from?
Don't ask.
Not age?
Just plug in.
I'm not great with computers. I mean, tech in general, I try to be. I'm fascinated by it. I try to learn as much as I can, but something about the magic and the way it manifests around me does strange things to it. So that limits my familiarity with that sort of thing.
All right. Well, you guys just got some information from Wada about Haley and some processing, I'm sure, of that will eventually happen. What do you guys? The job is complete. You guys have been given payment. Let me make a calculation here, and since I always forget to write down what the karma will be.
Oh, what was the second payment? I forgot to jot that down.
So you guys would have altogether gotten 27,000 new yen each.
Hey, Wada, I appreciate the information and the job. It was profitable for all of us, I think.
Very.
Oh, yeah. That's what I do. It was good to meet you guys.
Yeah, you're pretty awesome. I'm glad there wasn't some dark secret about Haley that made me have to hate you or something.
You can't get more jobs like this, can you? Because our last phase, we just didn't get a lot of. Could you do this more?
Probably. I'm really good at talking to people. I mean, that one it hurts it does kind of now. This makes it a little more difficult, but when I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you talk right through the pain. It's really kind of mesmerizing.
We usually don't get stabbed.
Day job before this, I experienced a lot of pains. I got really used to it. Yeah.
Look, she's crying right now, but you can't tell.
Right, like I said, we normally
my third eyelid is something I might say.
Getting stabbed is not something that normally happens to us.
Good. Yeah, there's definitely a better way to be. Huh?
I mean, shot at all the time. Stabbed almost never.
Eon actually appears next to Wada at that point for anybody who's perceiving AR. The captain was right in one thing, though. As far as I can tell, you did perform very well together, possibly at higher levels than before, and even disregarding your increased levels of anger towards each other during this business, it may be profitable for you to stay together.
Get you a new skin or something? Is there a shop we can go to for you?
She doesn't need a skin or a dress or anything.
Oh, don't listen to him. I'm going to take you to the best shopping host. Surely they'll have something also in virtual. I like to redecorate my persona all the time.
I don't even know where that opinion came from.
It's very important.
Oh. Anyway, what she means in English is, do you want to stick around, Wada?
We could really use a lot more money.
Say something in a language you probably don't recognize, but it's just, you can tell by her body language. It's just yeah, sure.
Wait, what language? I have lots. I will tell you the languages that I do have, and you can tell me if I understand. English, French, Greek, Latin, Ordzet. English, French, Greek, Latin, Ordzet, and Sparathiel.
Creole?
Nope.
Oh, but you can only stick around on one condition.
No boats.
2 conditions.
For Boso, can we? Come on, we have so much money. If we pull it together, we can buy a boat.
No boats.
Scratch the first condition. Only the second condition. You have to tell us where you're from.
Boca says I'm not supposed to do that, so.
We're going to need 3 more hints about where you're from.
What is this we, Drek?
I'm from here.
Don't pretend you don't want to know.
Here for years.
You're from here?
Yeah, for like the last few years, yeah. Well, not last year, yeah.
That's boring.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. This show would not be possible without the generous support of our patrons over at Patreon. If you like the show and you want to help support it, then please head on over to patreon.com/complexaction. Supporting can get you access to monthly GM notes that I put out on the Patreon, even the chance to get selected to join us as a guest on our cast party episodes that we have. That's patreon.com/complexaction to help us out. There were several NPCs and organizations which were provided by patrons of Complex Action early on in the development, and the ones included in this episode were Walker, submitted by Chris Vandergriff, and Marauder, given by patron David Frederick. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. The character art seen on our YouTube page and various other social media places was done by Ethan Brewerton. Check out his awesome Shadowrun artwork at esbrewerton.com. The background music in this episode is brought to you by Prism Shard. To hear more of his Shadowrun-inspired music, head on over to soundcloud.com/prism-shard and give him some love. The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and or any proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Complex Action to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its websites, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Complex Action in any official capacity whatsoever.